Good luck.
Thank you, appreciate it.
No, Yukari did appear. Yukari appeared very briefly during the Suika trial, right? Hello, Big Nut. So Yukari appeared briefly, but we've not seen the other two. My first case today. I'm probably not going to finish the case today if I were to take a guess. Maybe. But honestly, I kind of doubt it. Nice Sinai. Oh, am I doing it again? No. Not necessarily. One of the things that Alice had going for her is the entire fight, right? Hina... Ogane is notable, but it's basically just all this. Same thing with Notori. Aya's the closest thing you get to where, like, the whole fight is a problem. Or majority of the fight is a problem. Oop. Oh, Victor, thank you for the resub. There's your Let's Tonight emote. Is Stage 5 unironically more consistent than Stage 2 or 3? Second spin, going up top and spinning. Oh, where does it start? Where does it start? Top right. This year for so much. Dude, I'm gonna be playing Puppet Dance on Sunday. Why do you hate me? Can you imagine? You're a liar? In what way? Shit, Sunday playing Labby 3. Did it drop? There's no way. I would have heard news about it from other people. There are like so many different sources I would have heard about it from. Okay. I was gonna say I don't believe you because there are many people I would know that the moment it drops are gonna come to me and be like, "Yo, try us out." Be like, "Okay, cool." Also, I will say this. If Try dropped today, tomorrow, or Sunday, I would not play it on Sunday. We got playing on something? No, that's not what's going to happen. Try will get slotted in eventually. However, I don't know how much I want to even blind play it at the very, very beginning. So part of me almost wishes it's going to, like, come out. Fuck. And then give it a little bit of time for the nuances. Because it's either going to be, I'm going to want to play it completely blind, with zero external influence, or more important, or more probable, I don't want to play it blind, like completely blind. Yeah. The info. Like, I played Labby 1 twice, I played Labby 2 once, so I'll probably end up playing Labby 2 again. Whether on or off stream, I don't know, but... The thing is that the game is far more enjoyable... Labby specifically is far more enjoyable when I know what's happening, when I'm looking up information for it. Far more enjoyable, in my opinion. Did 11 decide your puppet evolutions? No. Here's what's gonna happen with the puppet evolutions. I'm gonna get to level 30 in Puppet Dance on whatever run gets it, whether it's the first run or third run or 10th run. I'm gonna get to the point where I unlock style changes. And then it's gonna be like 3 hours of just me pondering what styles I'm gonna do across all my puppets. And then you're gonna be like, oh. Became sleeper. Once I started looking things up, the game became definitely more enjoyable in the way I want it to be enjoyable. The early game, not looking things up is fun. Like the very early game. Kind of the case for both Labbies. Not looking things up is fine. The problem is, it just sucks. It just sucks. Like, the Labby games are meant to be strategized and not, like, played, I feel. Like, the enjoyable thing about Labyrinth is setting things up. And figuring out, hey, what do I do here? What do I do? Like, let's take the most obvious example of all from Labby 2. The triple ball fight. Okay? I like the fight from a puzzle perspective. Hey, it's an interesting game plan to figure out how I'm gonna tackle the fight. It's interesting to set up, be like, okay, what's gonna work? How do I want to like handle this? How do you handle the different aspects? It's really great. It's an breedability set, yeah. So I like that. The problem is, if you play through that fight blind, it legitimately makes me want to stop playing the game. Like, Labby is like, oh, here's all these tools you can strategize with. But when you don't have information, like, none of it matters. Like, here's this mechanic that's really good in this situation. When is that situation relevant? I don't know. Why don't you go throw darts at a wall for an hour straight every single fucking fight? I'm interested to see how the info is going to affect it. I have good news, but also Labby kind of does have an issue to this regard as well, in which like there's a lot of like, oh, you know, pick up this item and then go here if you unlock this character, and if you unlock this character, you got like. Oh yeah, if you want to get Kasen, you have to wipe at some point. Yeah, uh-huh. Like, I'd like to know this, because otherwise I'm not gonna get character for a while. Oh, you gotta get this money for this, and you gotta go here for this. Well, what are you talking about? If I wanted to do a quote-unquote optimal strat for Labby 2, I did not use Renko and Maribel. I use a lot of my influence from my Labby 1 strats. Ranchima, Remy, play defensive, buff up, and then burst. Okay, some Renko. I wanted to use them. I like them a lot. It's just, I used them for one fight because that one fight was a real pain in the ass. I realized how, like, I heard people say they were broken, realized how broken they were, and then decided I'm not going to use them for the rest of the game. Now, I still used Chen. And is that still broken? Probably, yeah, kind of, but... That's because I hate that. That does, like, first place one, yeah. Well, that's one of the neat things about an Nuzlocke, right? Is that, like, your team is not going to look the same. Especially if you're doing, like, fan games, like, not, like, the official Pokemon games. Although, even then, a bit, but, like... You know what you're getting, what you're forced to play with, it's gonna vary. We remove surprise, but like I've said before, the experience and exploration factor of video games is mostly lost on me nowadays. Not that I can't find enjoyment from it at all. But I'm not 12. When was I ever a Who's the Roomia? It's like Devil of Decline. You know, like I did play through that game mostly blind. There was some, like, I was getting fed a lot of information from Damikos, which made it so, like, that game blind, like, true blind was suck. But, like, I got enough information from Damikos to have a much better time at it. And, like, it's fun. I get to go in and be like, okay, you know. I get to plan. I get to strat. I get to Because generally, the way I look at fights and things like in like any turn-based game, really, it's puzzle gaming. It's a very convoluted puzzle. That's why I really like Nuzlocke. Because they really just end up being like really convoluted puzzles where you try to find the optimal, most safe line. You sit there and you puzzle for it. That's why I like the Labby games, because I just sit there like stratting for bosses. Okay, how am I going to set this up? Like, that's a game I'd like to figure out. Like, if I could do some sort of challenge run in, if I knew more about the numbers, like, if I could find more about the numbers of the game, like, Devil of Decline sounds like it'd be such a fun game to try to do some sort of challenge run of. If I can figure out a good one to do for it. If that is. That... Melee only. It's like the best starting character in the game. These are the 4 starting characters you can get Yukari, Mei Ling, Reimu, or Byakuran. I'm recording to Damiko, so I believe that's just because she has like an absurdly good item. Yukari or bust. Oh, Yukari, and I'm gonna bust. Canon, even, yeah. Why did Zune make this spell? I know I've asked this question before. It's kind of rhetorical, but still. Because, like, the problem is, I don't like Kaizo-based gameplay, style gameplay, or blind Kaizo gameplay, in where it's just, you know, here's something that's designed to kill you and designed to make you lose at something, even if it's like just a small loss that you can, you know, briefly bounce back from, just because of your lack of information. Great Fairy Wars and Platinum trophies. Yeah, it's the medals, because it goes up to gold medals. I mean, how do you even make a Platinum medal? Because the gold medal is just, like, LNNing an attack, basically, right? How do you make that harder? Unless you somehow try to throw, like, a score requirement in. Does Great Fairy Wars have scoring? I think it does, but I honestly can't remember for sure. It's not gonna let you get to the ground if you do this. If you go really far out, it will. That. I do stand by that. I think for timeout, this is probably the second hardest spell in the game. For timeout purposes. If we're talking just cap purposes, probably like, I don't know, 7th, 8th. I'd have to think about it a bit more. I don't think I'd say this timeout is harder than Divine Virtues. Currently. I think this timeout is harder than Divine Virtue's cap. But timeout versus timeout, I gotta get that the edge just because of how long it is. I don't think there's anything else in this game I'd put up to the level of this in terms of cap or timeout. Oh, it's PDH. Well, okay, you know, in that case, it's obviously going to be PDH. Okay, what's harder, PDH cap or this timeout? It's going to be PDH cap. Although I don't know if it's by a landslide. I think it's probably easier to luck into this timeout than a PDH cap. Probably. The two attacks are difficult, but for different reasons. Although, if you're really good at PDH, which is a very, very small subset of people, I wonder if they can even be different. Because I think PDH might have theoretically more to learn, but I don't know if that really pushes it over the top. But I think it does make it at least closer, question mark? Oh, it's so vomit-inducing at times. Time this out, I want to. And that's what matters. No, I do not have to time this out. Too much. I mean, if I'm not timing out, I'm sitting here practicing it still for 15 minutes at the bare minimum. Or, maybe not the bare minimum, but I'd still be practicing it a lot. That's one thing that Hydro Camouflage does have over this attack. It does have a much easier timeout. But, and also at the very minimum, if there are attacks in this game that I need exposure to, it's this one. This is one of the definitely top of the list. I mean, even just capping in the middle of a run, where am I ranking this spell currently? In the middle of a, like, for run-based attacks. It's the cap, not necessarily the timeout. Like, what else am I putting ahead of this in terms of difficulty? Probably, Hydro Camouflage, but that's a bit of an asterisk. They're like the game started to style you. Hey, I was just mentioning earlier that, like, you know, Devil of Decline is a game that I think would be fascinating to try to find some sort of challenge run in. And if like some of like the damage formulas and the numbers behind everything was out, I'd find it a lot more approachable to try to set something up for that at some point in time. Yukari's quite enough of a challenge for us. Yeah. But it's a different sort of challenge than most. Yeah. Or Silver, yeah. Because turns out Sylph's abilities are pretty good. And by abilities, I mean one in particular, but of course, there's more nuance than just Sylph early, I assume, but still, speedruns are an interesting type of challenge run, but they're not necessarily the challenge run for me. Boom, there we go. See? 2 days in a row. Feeling strong, yeah. Like, it's not like necessarily the speedrun type of mindset, but like I've always enjoyed the challenge run mindset of when you're playing with like limited resources in some form or another. It's part of the reasons why I really like Nuzlocke. Because you're generally playing a fight in a normal manner too. Because, like, that's one thing about speedruns. It's like, how do you cheese the fight as much as possible, right? But challenge runs as a whole tend to, on average, play fights fairly. Where it's how do you, you know, how do you create the safest line? How do you create, you know, the lowest level win for it? What do you mean? Take me years to do the Puppet Dance one. Dude, I've been streaming for like not even a year and a half at this point. It's been like less than a year since I played Puppet Dance. When did I play it? About a year ago. Actually, probably about a year ago. Speaking of which, Game Glitcher, do you... Could you possibly either send me or send me the link to the Puppet Dance save editor thing? I was going to hopefully tomorrow and or Sunday before I stream. I was hoping to start like setting it up. Oh, this is May of 2024. Wow! Actually, that's when I think the 6th was when I started restarted streaming last year, so that's like almost right away. Alright, forcing Touhou soccer. Actually, the mother load. Dude, if because you'll have to keep me in touch in the Touhou soccer scene there. If they actually like make like notable mods for Touhou Soccer, let me know. I would love to see that. I don't know what they're like doing in Touhou Soccer, but like Touhou Soccer is unironically, like, in my opinion, like a really enjoyable game. And if people are, like, doing mods to it. Like, dude, I would just play through travel mode with just a bunch of new characters. Like, they just make some new characters, give them like, you know, a few abilities apiece. Doesn't have to be any story mode or substance. Just add some new characters, travel mode. I would play the shit out of that again. You know, Touhou Soccer, for what it is, has a ton of content. And one of its biggest limitations is just the fact that it doesn't have a ton of content to take from. So there's still, like, limitations based on when it is in Touhou. But, like, there's more there. There's some in process. Yeah. So, like I said, if you see them, like, actually, like, make, no, like, notably make things, absolutely. I'd love to look into that more at some point. Touhou Soccer would be a fun game to do challenge runs of sorts. But that's another thing about challenge runs that I've commented that, like, I always find more interesting than, like, speed runs per se. Challenge speed runs I've really liked. Or speedrun challenge runs is probably better. Which Sephiroth's DODW made it. Ooh, nice. How convenient. Well, they're made by the same people, right? So, I guess that makes sense. Although, according to Touhou Soccer, everyone at Hachikuma Soft is pedophiles. According to Renosuke from Touhou Soccer. Yeah, so Renosuke has his, like, post-soccer match dialogue, if you let the beginning screen go on for too long, and one of them, I read it was on stream, you go back and find the VOD at some point. One of them, he's, like, ranting on, and he says something about how, like, everyone from Hachikuma Soft is a pedophile. Or something like that. It was a joke. Yeah, Yuma fans, SMH. You can't add her into Touhou Soccer, she just eat the ball. And before someone be's like, she could eat my balls. I cannot see the spell right now. I guess it's not a spell. You get the point. Only a spoonful! No, she'll get 7 max HP every time she gets a spoonful of it. But anyway, I was rambling, because, like, One of the more annoying things I find about speedruns is I like the routing of speedruns. I find it's cool. The problem is, like, oftentimes in speedruns, you end up just, like, playing the game in a way that, like, isn't how, like, anyone would normally play the game. You're skipping bosses in the ways possible, you're clipping, you're doing all these things, which is interesting to find. I just don't find them good replayability-wise. I don't find it that interesting like that, right? Like, there are exceptions to this rule, obviously. Easiest time out of my life. Let's take a game like Ocarina of Time, right? I like what people do, like, you know, no-hit runs or something, or like just a run where you're trying to beat these bosses on like very limited resources, but you're actually like doing most of the bosses as is, instead of some things where you're just kind of like skipping through things, clipping. Like, I don't want to see a video of someone beating Ganon at, like, you know, like with not like. It's like in games. I know this isn't Zelda because Zelda generally doesn't have like levels like this, but like, it's like I beat Ganon at like level 1. It's like, okay, yeah, you just like skip the fight. Example is like Pokemon Yellow. It's like you could beat Pokemon Yellow at level 5. Yeah, that's because of, like, there's a, you know, you can glitch the game at the very beginning and warp straight to the Hall of Fame. It's like, ooh, how do I do, like, a low level challenge? You know, how do I do that type of thing? Ooh, that's a little bit more interesting. It's always been, like, my biggest complaint of speedruns as a whole. Like I said, I enjoy the routing aspect of them. It's just usually the execution I'm a little more different. That's why I have enjoyed doing casual speedruns. Like, me and my friends will take a game. Like, we played Mario Bros. Wii for this one, and just did a casual speedrun versus each other. We had, like, 4 different Wiis going. All with a copy of it, and it's just beat the game first. Without any major exploits, nothing like that. It's just like, we're using the cannons and stuff. We're still playing everything as fair as possible. Which, to be fair, in Wii you can kind of do that, but that's besides the point. You get to the point where you're not really playing, it's not really fun. Yeah, like, I will say this, like, breaking the game and, like, finding these exploits is cool. I think that's like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, you shouldn't break the game or anything. I think it's cool to find exploits like that. I just don't find it interesting in the sake of, like, challenging yourself. When the hardest part of a speedrun is you trying to hit a one frame, like a 1 pixel or a 1 frame input to warp through a wall, instead of you doing, like, a really hard boss fight. I'm like, you know. Tried not to show up, yeah. it or what. I'm not gonna, like, be giving myself hack puppets, okay? I'm gonna be playing fairly. I've done hardcore Nuzlocke in the past before on my own time. Not a puppet dance, but of, like, Pokemon games. Both official and fan-made ones. Okay, and that's one of the things about doing it live, is I'm gonna have, like, I have, like, a stream to keep me honest. Or Scott after, yeah. Basically what I'm saying with challenge runs is make me sit there and puzzle solve. That's what I want to do. I want to sit there and solve puzzles. I want to sit there and be like, how do I get around this? How do I deal with this issue? Shut up, yeah. No, what I'm gonna have to deal with is I'm trying to find, like, what's the optimal line? What's, like, what is the best play I can make? And a bunch of people telling me the wrong play. You should do this thing. It's suboptimal. And trying to shut it out while I try to figure out what the actual thing to do is. Yamame sweep the game. Yeah, it's 100% just as easy as that. There's no issues with that. What does Yamame even do? I know I use, like, defense or extra Yamame in my run. Their bulky absorber, I think, was the item. Poison light. None of that. Much. Okay. Sweep, yeah, I'm sure it's a perfect sweep. I'm sure it's gonna sweep everything. There's nothing that can take that. Raise it 23 green. Oh, blue. That's fine. More. Yo, I should try that. Guys, you know what's great? It's the weekend. We are officially at the weekend. Just knows poison trap for some reason. Well, that's because she's a poison type under, right? And they tend to like want to throw that on some poison types. Like, hey, you're probably poison. Maybe we should give him a poison trap. Weird, huh? It means I get to sleep in. Yippee! Yippee! I'm staying up a little late tonight, so I'm going to be tired, and then we can go to bed, and then I don't have to wake up to my alarm. I get to wake up tomorrow, and then start setting up some of my details for Puppet Dance on Sunday. People are toxic, then. Or spark poison, excuse me. Aaron is, what is Tay? Tay was Void, right? Void or Elude? No, that's Racing. Racing's like Void or Elude. What the hell is Tay? So Tay is Poison Fighter? Yeah, there you go. I know Erden is like Poison Water. Racing's like Void Illusion-esque. Racing's Illusion, yeah. What's, no, Tay's other typing. So I have a question, Game Glitcher. How long till someone, not you, or 11, I'm not going to count 11 in that category, shows up and is like, oh, you have rainbow candies? Isn't that cheating? Isn't that just going to make the run easy? Fully going to pretend the fact that the level caps aren't real. And that they do nothing because not having to grind is therefore going to make the run boring. What a sick move. Piss, but I'll put Nuzlocke a child. I will. I'm going to put Puppet Dance, TPD. I'm probably just going to do TPDP hardcore Nuzlocke. Probably not write the full thing out. Also, if I do write Touhou Puppet Dance performance, someone's going to come in here and be like, it's actually not Touhou. It's just called Puppet Dance Performance. Suppose we were to get the newest Touhou on the Discord. I mean, you just gotta find it. The extended mod's not that hard to find. I think it's like from like 2 years ago or something. Like, when I start the run, I'm going to go through all the rules and the specifics, but I'm also going to go into Nightbot and specifically set up commands for all the rules for reference purposes. Am I still at 60 refresh rate? I might not have updated my refresh rate since yesterday. I'm gonna reset the game because I don't want to adjust it mid-game. I'm not leaving. I'm not quitting the game. I'm not done playing Touhou for the day. And yep. I did not update my refresh rate back to 144. Hey, since I beat Winter, I'm not gonna have to go back and change it again. Okay. Cinnamon's here to troll. Well, you gotta remember that that just because something is good online competitively does not mean it's good in Nuzlocke. The two are not equal, though there are some overlap. I'm not sure if I'm going to name my puppet. Maybe I'll name my puppets. Maybe I'll take chat recommendations to name my puppets. Maybe I'll do that. I was thinking I wasn't going to do that, name my puppets, but if you guys ask nice enough, I will. I don't necessarily care. I don't care about that. Oh, they want me to name something that's too long for the thing. Let me go into the character editor to do that. No, I'm just gonna not name it that. That was a 15-second kill. That was bad. Like, generally speaking, I'm going to use the save editor to give myself a billion repels and rainbow candies, and also potentially increase my PP in later portions of the game, so I don't have to manually grind it for a bit. GG. That. No, I'm not gonna go through with that. I'm not gonna mess with move sets or burn sets or anything. Maybe when the ROM hack is made, but like, I'm not gonna cheat level up moves or anything. Unless I somehow feel there's like a really, really valid reason for it, which I don't see happening. No. Holy moves. Me when I'm busting down the dance floor. I wasn't even looking at the screen. Caps lock, be damned. Good single player. Yeah, like there is going to be correlation. Obviously, things that are good in line are good for a reason. However, when you're dealing with with humans in a 1v1 format where you can sacrifice puppets as well for tempo versus the single player where you're dealing with AI, where you don't want to sacrifice puppets for tempo unless you're against, like, the champion or something. Or unless you have spare puppets and you're against something that's really hard and you need the tempo swing. There is notable differences there. Like, competitively, you're not playing around crits, like, ever. Because it's just, you really can't play around crits competitively. But like, in the PvE, in the Nuzlocke, you kind of have to play around crits at least as much as you can. And that alone causes a big difference. The nose ice. Yeah. I'm not talking about you playing for crits, I'm talking about you playing around the opponent playing for crits. Like, even if the opponent has a boost, like a crit boosting thing, competitively, you, like, what do you do to play for that? I'm talking about your opponents playing for crits. Because, like, if you're playing online, you just say, okay, you know, I'm just gonna, you know, act like you're not going to get crit, and if you get crit, unlucky, right? Maybe you lost the battle, but maybe you'll win the war. In a Nuzlocke, if you, like, are like, I'm just going to risk crits, especially, like, if you have a way to potentially play around it, but you still risk the crit, and you do that a bunch over a run, like, you're going to get crit. Right, an online battle, what, you're doing 10 turns? Maybe more. Like, you're doing 10, 20 turns? Like, there are fair odds you're not going to get crit. But if you do this 100 times in Nuzlocke, like, you're going to get crit in some of these. It's more puzzle solving because you know the enemy team, you know what they have, and you can know what you have, you can know what lines up. It's just finding what lines up in the safest way possible. Puppet Dance has a very interesting difference from it compared to normal Pokemon, in which with the style changes, because normally you're like, okay, Pokemon have 1, maybe 2 evolutions at most. They're fairly linear with how they play, but there is, like, differences, like, oh, do I want these moves or these moves, right? But in Puppet Dance, it's like, when you style change, you have so many choices there, way more than normal Pokemon. It's like, okay, I'm trying to think, hey, what do I need right now? What helps me the most here? That's one of the things I love the most about Puppet Dance is the style change. I think it's a very, very neat. It's like making every Pokemon Eevee, in a sense. Like, there's a lot of similarities amongst the styles that a given puppet has, but it gives you many different ways to play that aren't always just, oh, different typing, necessarily. Like, hey, I don't have a resistance to this type. I really should get a resistance to this type. Maybe I should go for this puppet then. I lack fast attackers of fire. Hey, maybe I should go for this style on this guy. Me and my way to get defense Ben. I didn't like this attack at first. I don't love it, but this attack has grown on me. I definitely hated it a lot at the very beginning, but now I definitely hate Stormday way more than this. And I'm starting to like it. I only like attacks that I'm good at. That's 100% what I'm saying. You know what? You know, I was looking through the boss fights, in Puppet Dance. And you know what fight that I didn't really think about for a Nuzlocke that I thought about now that is actually gonna be just, like, disastrously bad? Is the Flan Gauntlet. The Flan Gauntlet looks nightmare for that. Puppets that you like to see or... Not there. I haven't, like, I've done a little bit of browsing through the Puppet decks looking at things, but I can't really say much as to what's, like, going to be good in the run. My defense Ben? Defense Ben, where you at? You know, I was talking about Rumia, obviously, so I'm interested in that. I think Route 1 Chen has value because you can force the Ron later, which is probably really good. Like, I feel like Ron is just, like, a nuts. But, like, seeing the Route 1 Chen sounds, beautiful. But these are only my theories. There's a number of puppets that I think have interesting, plans, but, like, they're like, late game or mid game, so like, you know, I won't really, like, think about getting super excited for them unless I have... You know, somehow get them as my starter. You know, pull 3 stars randomly. Well, here's the problem about that Flan, right? Because here's the thing: most of the hardest fights in the game are 6v6, right? The problem with the Flan Gauntlet is you don't have heals. You can't change your lead. Sure, they have multiple Flans, and they often will probably have similar counters, but like, you're talking about 13 puppets. That's a 6v13. And normally in Puppet Dance, like, if you're playing casually, oh, you know, you can sacrifice things to get things through. It's like, you're probably going to have to let things die in that fight. Like, that 4-of-a-kind fight looks awful. In Hardcore Nuzlocke, one of the hardcore addition to the Nuzlocke term adds 2 major rule changes, which is A, level caps, no over leveling the next, you know, major boss, and B, no items in battle. Those are the 2 major additions of that. So I'm not going to be heal spamming on anything. Like, gauntlet fights like that in ROM hacks are unironically some of the hardest parts of Pokemon ROM hacks. That Flan fight looks like it's going to be gross. Fortunately, it's so late game that it's going to take me forever to get there in the first place. But the number one thing I need to, like, plan out and figure out what I'm doing ahead of time is level caps. Like, figure out what bosses am I designating the level caps for. The early game, it's pretty obvious. I have a level cap. I don't know what it is off the top of my head for the Baka Squad. I forget who the final member of the Baka Squad is that you fight, but they're ace Pokemon. Boom, that's an easy level cap. Obviously, Miko's going to have a level cap of 18. Next level cap is obviously going to be Moko. I think it's 27. And then obviously Remy's going to be the next level cap. It's like low to mid 30s. I forget exactly what it is. But then it kind of gets weird because you get you get the question mark fights. There starts to become optional fights. It's like, what am I throwing? What am I throwing where? Or like, hey, where are my exact level caps? I'm not throwing it for every major fight, obviously. So look through, figure out what's going to be, and then after some runs, maybe adjust it some more. And yes, I absolutely, for now, do intend to plan on trying the director fights. Question marks match level, you find them. Yeah. But, like, you know, when you get to the first question marks, right? Like, the first few all have, like, the first, like, 2 or 3 all have their levels about the same. Like, it's about, like, the 40 mark. That's kind of one thing. It's like, what's the order I potentially force them in? And, like, I can't really just put a level cap on one, because then it kind of, like, you know, if you do that one, then you're going to be over level for the next one, so you do the level cap separately to some other bosses. How am I going to handle the optional fight of Kaneko? That's a big question. Am I going to force myself to do Kaneko at like a similar level, or am I going to say, because it's optional and has a reward item, I can try to do it early, or I could delay it until I'm significantly higher level, but I don't get its item. Rematch fights in the post-game. Not for the directors. 1000% not for the directors. I don't think I'll be doing much in terms of the rematches. Side of them. For what exists. As far as I know, the progression is after the Elite Four. It's probably going to go something like Flan, like probably like Letty, Flan, something like that, for like level cap specifically. And then there's kind of a gap before you kind of get through. Like there's like Mima. Yeah, Flan has that rematch. Yeah, I might do that. I don't know. I also have to get there. I also have to get there. I'm gonna look through these over the next 2 days before I stream on Sunday to kind of try to map out what my intentions are for level caps and all this type of shit. Go to the early game after a handful of attempts. I'm counting the early game as Remy. I'm counting the early game as ending at Remy. I think that once you get past, Moko, you get style changes, and then once you get past Remy, there becomes like an onslaught. So I think Remy is probably the main line in the early game. Remy's kind of the first fight of the game that transitions to the mid game, where it's like everything before that's pretty standard. Like Moko's not even like that, like out of the blue. And then you got Remy, which is like the first time you start to see style changes. And it's the first time that you get access to style changes, too. So, like, that's kind of like the end of the early game, and then it transitions you into the mid-game. This is a fun spell to play. I quite like this one. Squad have a rematch? Do they really? Ooh, actually, if I had that right input fast enough, I would have had that out. Me on my way to get wiped by Reimu's Power Aya. First fight in the bridge. Are you talking about the one after Moko? Or is there a different one you're talking about? Or are you talking about, like, the second one, where she gets Power Aya, I believe? Because you fight her after Moko, and then you fight her on the way to, like, Sanai and Kaneko, right? Okay, I gotta pee, and then I'll do some runs. Chance raise attack. Yeah, that's why I have to find a puppet that baits a different move. SMH. Me and my way to sweep every fight with Speed Mayra. That's a Tori fight is an interesting one to try to plan for. I think you do something where you like you get a sweeper. you lead something that's like really bad into the sweeper, switch in the sweeper, set up, and then and then like the rest of your back mons are just kind of like garbage, like really bad into the sweeper, and then you just have them go through. And then you're the sweeper versus the sweeper if you're already set up, and you just kind of win. I assume it's gonna look something like that, but. Bastard. Itty bitty tap to the left. I forgot where I was going. Me on my way to get like the best puppet in the entire run, only for it to have E in all stats. Yeah, me and my way to get the best puppet in the entire game as my starter, and then fumble it to some random trainer. Dude, give me Mayra as my starter. Give me my speed Mayra back. Weak armor Mayra on their way to set up and sweep the entire game. Nope. I don't know how much Mayra is good against Miko, though. I get the Mayra starter, don't find Fudo, dies to Miko. I feel like Miko could be a problem, but I wouldn't be surprised if the game is... If it gets to the point where the game is really smooth up to rank. And honestly, I think that'd be for the better. Like, I do really hope that Miko without, like, Fuko is still pretty smooth. Consistently. Most of the time. Like, it's fine if it has some, like, if it's bad occasion, like, really bad occasionally, if you don't get anything good for it. Me on my way to get all the way to Boruto just to wipe to him. Oh, I'd be very happy with that, although it would be disappointing. It's a very disappointing way to finish. I don't think Boruto will be that bad if you get there with good resources. You can somehow get to Boruto if you're on Boruto on a spite on like a thread, then you're just screwed. But Boruto and Maribel do have the fact that you can really sack heavily on them. Me and Boruto gets my sack. Human. Hit the double bullet. She was pretty vertical through most of the waves there, very generous. Three sound surge moves with reset. What do you mean? That like runs won or runs lost? What do you mean? This is not what you want to do in the slightest. Water resistance sound. Well, okay, then we just use the puppets we find along the way. Okay, hold up. The starter is the only puppet we can use in the entire run. I'm doing Kaizo Ironmon puppet dance. stats of the end fairies is disappointing, especially considering the path to, Hydro Camouflage, but we take them still regardless. Dude, you know I will be excited if I see Kyoko as my starter, though. Give me that PP Kyoko, that power Kyoko. I am happy with the fact that I keep getting these perfect Notoris. Pursuit. Yeah, well that's good. That's why you look at the puppets that have Pursuit and you try to make sure you play around ahead of time. Plan ahead accordingly. Oh no! Whoa, I tripped. It's never been more Jover. Plan ahead, dude. I'm gonna be planning ahead for like every major fight in the game. Even random trainer battles, I'll probably be doing a bit planning ahead. Although, probably a lot less seriously. Stumbled. I did the white section wrong. I need to go left to right, not right to left. Play the post game, yeah. I wasn't even looking. Caps lock button be damned. Still pretty good straight for us. Tracker. I should add that at some point. I really should. You know what? Let's do that right now. Oh gosh, how easy is this gonna be set up? Fuck, do I even remember how to edit this? Then I have to resize. Okay, let's not. I'd have to resize the whole thing. Gengetsu/Mugetsu. Do you mean the fight? I don't think I have much of an issue with that. Yeah, I did just consume a lot of caffeine not too long ago. Oh, but it still hits. Like late in the day. Give as much focus as I possibly can to like one run. With as little distractions as possible. No more puppets talking like focus. There are times when talking and just rambling, it does help. That tends to be for like when I am really slumped. Like doing the same thing over and over, just like getting wall by the same thing. Even if it's a very hard thing. I'll keep going a little bit more, but I'm running out of brain power for the day. Like I got my exiled doll cat. Or timeouts. Excuse me. Nice. Some bait there that I didn't have to. Same thing here. You know, I'm just thinking right now, there's a comment I saw recently. It's not a comment I had, but it's a comment I saw recently that's living rent-free in my mind. It just makes me ponder how you say it. When I was watching some Pokemon Showdown content, I just kind of had that on as background noise while I was grinding Labby for winter. Like, just gaining levels off stream. And there's a lot of Pokemon Showdown content, just people playing the game, and they have some, like, other, like, sounds and editing for it. But a lot of people, there's some people that play it without any voice. And the person I was watching did have voice. The reason I'm commenting on it is because this guy's talking, and someone comments down below. This guy only had views in the hundreds, not that big. And someone comments down below saying, what's... I think it was basically they just said, "Ew, voice, bye." Like, it was like a really short sentence, just something about that, like, "Ew, you talk, bye." I'm like, I can understand if you don't like someone talking, if you find it annoying or something, but like, they just go down below and they just say that they have a pleasing voice. I wouldn't call it like a suit, like, it's not one of those voices where you're like, damn, that hits differently, but like, I would not describe it as an annoying voice at all. I'd say, yeah, it's pretty good. Honestly, like, whatever their audio setup is, it's like, it's a very solid voice for talking as they're playing game. Like, not everyone's gonna like it, obviously, but like, to go out of your way and just be like, "Ew," like, so I remember to see "ew" and "bye" at the end. I'm like, because they're talking during the video. The "ew" button. Yeah, but it's also like, even if you don't like it, to go down below, and like I said, this guy is not big. This guy, few hundred video, like, hundreds of views per video. Has like a couple of videos with like 1,000 to like 2,000. Most videos like 2,000 views. Okay, and then just to go down below, and it's not one of those like, it's not just like, oh, like, just the most random hate just to talk shit or something. It's just, of all things, and like, to be like, I'm gonna go down below and comment this. Oops, did not mean to pick up all that faith. Act a human. Nice. Like, just simply the idea of, like, sitting there and being like, I've watched videos and been like, ew, I don't like the face cam, or, like, I don't care for the person's voice, I don't really like it. But, like, to go down below and just like, comment that. Also, I feel like it's, like, one thing if they were, like, a big person, it's like, okay, you know what, they just get, like, people hate them because they hate them and they try to, like, find reasons for hating them. But, like, just someone, like, small, too. Or just, like, why? I've not done this that often. It's 7 lives outside after stage 3. Hello? But then there's the stage of hopes and dreams. Well, regardless of how everything goes on this stage, I'm quite happy with this as is. Yeah, I'm bound to slip. These I've only ever had this type of face like once before I've played out, both for now, but... Just pure panic at the end there. Yeah, we take those. Let's move on for now.